Hi, and welcome to a video that introduces you to how to use Gimp photo editing software. Firstly, you need to open the program called Gimp. So you click on the Windows key on your keyboard, or else there's one down on the bottom left of your screen. Once you're here, you can go across to the top right to the search button and just type in GIMP, and it should pop up, and you just need to click on it and then wait for it to open. It will take quite a while. Now, once it's open, you should have three screens in front of you, three little windows in front of you. Firstly, you have this big window, which is where all the action happens. That's where our photo will show up in a minute. You need your toolbox open, and it should be over on the left, but it may not start off there. I always put it over on the left, and I suggest you do too, so that when you're following the tutorial you don't get muddled up. And you should also have this little window called Layers and Gradients. Now, if some of your windows aren't showing, you click here on Windows. You could start by hovering over recently closed docs, and they should show up over here. Mine aren't showing up because I've already got them open. Otherwise, you need to go down to Dockable Dialogues, and you need to choose out the layers one. That's the main one we're going to use, that one on the right hand side. Also, you might need to get the toolbox one back, and that's that one over there. So if they disappear, you can get them back, don't panic. Okay, now we need to get a picture into there. So File, Open. I've got a picture somewhere here, but I'm just going to pause you while I find it because it might take a while. Okay, as I go through my photos, so I first of all went to my pictures, and then as I go through them, notice when I click on them I get a little preview, and that looks like an interesting photo. I think there's some people from your class in there. Okay, so there's our photo open in Gimp. Now you can zoom in and out, which if it helps while you're editing, by holding the control key on your keyboard down with your left hand and rolling your mouse wheel. That'll zoom you in and out. Okay, so the next step, we've got our picture in there. We need to make a new layer, and the new layer will show up behind it. So over here on our layer menu, we click down there on that white square, and that's create a new layer. And it's saying, what color do you want? See-through? Yep, fine by me, go okay. And now see, I've got two layers here. Now whichever one's at the top, that's the one we can see, and the other layers are hidden behind. So I want my photo to stay in front, and the background is where I'm going to draw with a rainbow color. And then at the very end, after I've done that, I'm going to erase all of this background, and then it'll look like the girls are standing in front of a rainbow background. So make sure you've got this layer, that layer selected, not your photo layer. You don't want to paint over the top of that in a rainbow. You need to go down to the new layer you made, the see-through one, and you're going to grab that tool there, which is called the blend tool. And then once you've selected that, down here you can see this big rectangle. You click on that and you can scroll and choose what type of rainbow gradient you want to make, and there are loads of options, and you choose one. You can also choose if you want it to be a spiral or a circle or just linear, and then you go back over to your picture. Now to show you this, I'm just going to turn the eyeball off on my photo so you can see what's behind it. So whatever I do to this layer here, once I turn that eyeball back on, I'll be able to see my photo again. It'll be in front of it. So I'm turning that off just so I can see what's happening on the back layer. Click and drag, and whatever, I'm holding my mouse down, moving it, and then letting go. The length that I draw before I let it go makes the lines on the rainbow spread out more. If I just do a little short drag, it'll make a little skinny rainbow, and the direction of my dragging makes it go in a certain direction. Okay, so now my front layer I'm going to turn back on again so I can see it. Now I need to start rubbing out bits of that so I can see the rainbow behind. But before I do, the first time I'll show you what I mean. If I rub this out, it's going white, it's not going see-through, so I need it to have a transparent part to it. So what you do is you right click on your photo over here, you go down to add alpha channel. Very important step, don't miss it out. Now that it's got an alpha channel, alpha means see-through in this program, if I draw, it goes see-through. I can see what's behind. Now that's going to take forever to erase it like that. I could make my brush size a bit bigger, So you go down here to size. You could use the up and down arrows, or you could just drag it across. And notice my brush has got thicker. I could drag it way, way, way across, and it'll be ridiculously huge. I've got a blurry edged brush going on there, but you could change to a solid outline brush like this. Now, anytime you make a mistake, just click undo, Control Z, and it'll undo what you just did. Now, not one last thing, two last things before we finish. One is there's a little cheats way. Instead of having to erase the slow way and then to get into the little skinny gaps, you have to make your brush skinnier and smaller and get, oh, that's still too big to get down between the people. There's another trick on here, and that is that one there, the magic wand. What the magic wand does is it looks for colors that match. So say I clicked on the green hat, it picks up everything that's green, but I'm going to use it to erase the nice plain bits of background from behind. So I'm going to click on that bit of wall and then go delete key on my keyboard. And you can use that to get rid of quite large bits of background, but be careful. If the color of the part of the person is the same color as the background, like what's just happening here, when I go delete it, hang on, I need to get that out of the way so you can see it. See how it's deleted some of Grace's head? We didn't want that to happen, so I'm going to go undo, Control Z, and you just have to undo it if that happens, and do it by hand with the eraser tool. And I think I've probably got most of what I can do the nice, sneaky, easy way. And now I have to go back to the eraser, make it much smaller so I can get into the gaps. Come on. And then I need to, oops, oh, see how now it's not rubbing out? That's because I've still got this little bit selected from when I did the magic wand. When that happens, if you're unable to rub out, it usually means you've still got something selected, and you need to then go select none, and then that little stripy line's gone. Now I can go back to rubbing out again. Oops, sorry about that. Rubbing half your face off. Okay, and etc, etc. Now I'm not going to do the whole picture now because I need to show you the last thing. Now when you're finished, two ways you have to save it. The first way is you just go save, and it will ask you where you want to save it and what you want to save it as. It'll save it as an XCF file. That's a Gimp file. You can't do anything else with it except edit it in Gimp, which is useful, but it's no use if you want to email it to me so that I can put it on our class blog, because an XCF file won't show up on the blog. So, but you still can save it that way. And my computer's misbehaving, so I can't actually save anything today, but I'll go through the motions. But the way you need to save it so that you can email it to me is you need to export it. You need to export it as a proper photo image file. So you go export as, and then up here mine's got JPG. That will work, and also PNG will work. Either one is fine. And then you go export. Oh, you've got to make sure you could rename it. It would really help if you put your name in it as well. So say I was handing this into my teacher, I'd go Miss Ronald Rainbow Background. I'd type that to be the name, Rainbow, and then you go export, and another little button will pop up saying are you sure? And you go, yep, export, and then mine's not saving because it's misbehaving, but you will get a little green bar going across and across. Don't close the window or log out before it's finished saving. It might take up to a minute. Then you go okay, and it's all done. Then that image file that you saved, that's what I would like you to email to me, and that's what I'm going to put on the class blog, and that's what I'm going to do to mark off the role that you have successfully completed the rainbow background task. Now please make sure you've used one of your own photos for this, not just some random picture off the internet. That's why we took those photos the other day. I think that's all I need to tell you. Hopefully I'll see a whole lot of cool rainbow images in my inbox really soon.